United in the Church of Christ assigned from the church to me, and we meet on a regular basis about a variety of issues. I'm willing to meet with you whenever. One, you can call my office and schedule an appointment. Two, you can barge in, and I'm not there tonight, but on Tuesday nights at 4 o'clock or 4:30, I have a regularly scheduled open forum where you can come and meet with me one-on-one and talk about whatever the issue is that you have. Three, I also have regular town hall meetings that meet every fourth Saturday of the month at the Woodson Library at 9:30. So I am accessible. Whenever you want to meet, I'm there to meet with you. With respect to these police issues, I have not been a Johnny Come lately with respect to this. As a practicing criminal attorney, I have seen these things up close and in person and have been talking about them for my entire tenure in the city council. I ran for state's attorney, and if you go back and listen to the tape, talk specifically about the issues and what we have seen going on with that state's attorney's office and knew that Anita Alvarez had to go. I have been saying that for a long time, not a Johnny Come with crime and punishment, because justice in this county has not been fair and equal. As I have said, justice has been peaking and the thumb has been on the scale when it comes to African Americans and how they go through the system in here. So yes, we're committed. We're committed as a caucus. As the chairman of the Black Caucus, I've always stepped out and talked about these issues. I immediately called for the release of the tape the same day at the Finance Committee. I'm quoted in the Sun-Times, and I think that I've done the caucus a great service in doing that. So these issues we've always been fighting for, but they always have been voted up to the top, that everybody understood exactly where we were going with respect to this. When we initially called for McCarthy's firing, we got pushed back in our community, saying, oh, they just out there saying something. It's their fault. And so now you see what we've been seeing and what we've been talking about. Now, I want to make one more comment. I'm going to have to leave soon because my wife and my son are at the urgent care center on 98th and Western, so I need to take care of it. So if I leave out in a few minutes, it is not that I don't want to do it.
All right, gentlemen, everybody, please get right to your question because it's not going to be fair to the people who are waiting in line. I know it. Go ahead, Joe.
My name is Joseph White. I got a report I'm going to read to you all. But let me say something. I think all this stuff happened because I think you all rule us off. And let me say this. As a resident of Chicago, I often felt victimized by the practice of the city council, making so very hard for my friends and I to get relief because of the economic sanctions placed upon black people, particularly the families that have been lives that have been destroyed by police shooting and murder, and the police trumping up charges on our children and incarcerating black men, either by putting drugs and guns on us or falsely accusing us of arrested for crimes, armed robberies and murders that we did not commit. And the other charge is keeping us in the permanent underclass, homeless and unemployed. Whether it was the Chicago police murdering us or falsely charging us with crime where we did not commit, or whether it was the Build a Trades Union denying us employment, or you all allowed them to bring the unions, bring the Spanish into our community doing all the work that my children and my family should be doing, using our federal tax dollars, or whether it was you all changing zoning or permits to allow informal all-white city employees from the Department of Planning and Department of Housing to create firms to buy up all the big lots in our field of black people suffering. Take one second. I listen to all y'all ready.
Joe, I got to prepare everybody in line, brother. Just if you ask the question.
Take 2 minutes. Okay. I already read this. They'll take 2 minutes to read it. So you all done up for y'all ready?
And I'm not being disrespectful, Joe.
It's all the time.
Check it, but is there a question in there though, brother? All right, ladies and gentlemen, as much as I know, a heartfelt statement. Joe, it's been 2 minutes though. I mean, who's gonna be the timer? Somebody be the official timer. Who's gonna be it? Okay, the timer's right there. All right. We're going to start. Let me know when you're ready. All right, because I didn't want to do it this way, but we're gonna have to do it this way. All right. Let me see it. Go ahead.
Let me just address him. I would say that, I'm speaking for myself. You want to come look at all the land that's been sold in the third ward and who it went to since I've been the alderman, you're free to come by and we'll sit down and go through the book. That's not true. See, you operate on innuendo and rumors. I'm offering you an opportunity to look through the third ward books so you can see for yourself. And I think that you should do that, or you could do that with other aldermen that are up here. So that we're not all lumped in one category. That's all I have to say.
And Joe, let me say this, bro. Joe, if you got a question, I'm gonna do it, brother. You can call the show tomorrow if you want to. Right. We just gotta be fair for everybody in line. That's all, guys. Or else Joe, I tell you what, if you got a question, when I finish this guy, I'll come right back because you gotta do the question. All right. Question, brother. All right, okay, I hear you guys. All right, Joe, we're going right here. Brother, please tell me you got a question.
My name is Earl Walker on behalf of the Education Justice Project. I've lived in a few of you guys' ward over the years. I want to reiterate what the First Lady said, which is we have no confidence in the ability of you guys to govern us. You went to your position to represent us and tell us what to do. We shouldn't have to fan you and read your books. They're ours. It's our money. You took $5 million knowingly, no matter how much it cost, it's blood money, you gave it away. You continuously did it all this time. So what we're asking you guys to do at this point is accept that you're wrong and get out the way. Period. We no longer have any faith in your leadership. We're young, we're vibrant, you're not the smartest people in the room. I said to all the
All right, there you go. That's the statement. We're going back over here. Now, I'm not sure I understand. If you want the alderman to get out the way, then that means you want the mayor to run the city. Well, but the mayor ain't going nowhere. There's no legal mechanism to remove the mayor. Hold on, let the alderman respond. Yeah, let the alderman respond.
I'm happy to respond to the young man. Particularly as the statement stated that we gave away blood money. And I go back to that. Because the one question I want to have him answer is, based on the circumstances that we were dealt with, I hope you heard what I stated earlier, when I didn't state. As alderman, what would your position be? Why? No, wrong is not an option. You knew what John Bird was doing his wrong, but I let it go. I wasn't here when John Bird was doing that, no one was doing the sentence, but let me just ask you, all right, hold on, answer one question, sir. All right, hold on, answer one question, sir. All right, so you answered the one question I asked, simple question. No, you didn't. You didn't answer the question, sir. You did not answer the question, sir.
All right, guys. So everybody, all right, let's get stuff right here. This is what we're gonna do. I want who is here to ask a question and to hear answers from the alderman. All right? All right, so you understand, who is here to peacefully ask a question to the alderman? All right. Now, so it seems like, raise your hand, it seems like the majority of people want to talk to the alderman and ask questions, right? All right. Who wants to make a statement and make some noise? All right, so then we're in agreement then. All right, brother, this is the question. So we're in agreement, from what I understand from the show of hands, that we are here to ask questions and get answers. Now, I'm going to introduce you guys to Mr. Percy Coleman. You've seen the video of of his son being dragged out of a police cell, and he was killed. That video is out there. Mr. Coleman, please stand up and make some comments too, because everybody shares in their thoughts and condolences to you, your son, your family.
First of all, I want to say thanks to all the people that have called. First of all, I want to thank all of the people who give condolences to me and my family, my wife, my son, and my daughter at this time, 3 years into it. I also want to tell you that this kind of a meeting is important, but it's only important if we walk out with something that made sense to come into the meeting in the first place. Now, normally I wouldn't do this, but just to lead into what I'm going to say, I want to say this. I'm an elected official in the city of Chicago. Now, I'd probably be better off saying I was the GD, but I'm going to tell you I'm a Republican. And I'm an elected Republican for the 34th Ward, the Alderman Committee. I, too, have an interest in our community. And not just because of my son, but because of my son. We have to come together on a couple of things. Number one, the city council needs some help about community policing. For some of you all in this room, you know I was a commander of police with the Chicago Housing Authority that was disbanded because of a bunch of the police, Chicago cops, wanted us out. The residents made it work. We had to work with the residents. So when you all can get ready for some experience, experts on community-centered policing, I got some folks we can bring to the table so that when you go talk to Ron Emanuel or whoever the police chief is, they'll know you know what you're talking about. Because other than that, the police culture always want to talk to people who don't understand. The night they killed my son, I did everything right. I prayed. I went to see my wife in the hospital. I found out what was going on in my home when I was just coming home from work. But the sad part is my wife did not call the Chicago cops to kill my son. She called them for help, just like you would. Robbie Mackey says he wants you to start trusting the police. You can't trust police who cannot work with honesty, integrity, or ethics. But the one good thing about it is that I understand the police culture. My son was bleeding from the mouth and both his hands, and he was under arrest for attacking my wife. He had a mental breakdown. That was not my son of 38 years that I saw that night. But he did off and on listen. I helped put my son in that paddy wagon. That's the last time I saw him alive until somebody popped a video on television about his last days in police custody. People, we got some serious problems. This is the kind of meeting that gets us started for some serious resolution if we're going to work together. I don't come here as a Republican, I come here to live with the black community. I've been crying just like Brooklyn has been crying about police brutality for decades. We got 2 terrorist groups in Chicago. One the Chicago gang and the other the Chicago police. And you tell me who's killing us more? The police and the gang. You can give that up. But at least the gang sometimes go to jail for their crime. The police don't even get charged. They have started, they don't because you're paying us to forget it. They tried to pay me and my family last week. We didn't forget it, we didn't take the pay. If they want to go to court, I will. Because see,
they won't be talking to no neophyte about police activity when we get to court. And one good thing about it, some ladies mentioned that there are some good policemen. Yes, they are. They black and white. There are some good gang members. All of them ain't brutalized murder. Because of the politics, the few takes over because they fully understand the ultimate expression of control of power. The ultimate expression of power is control. That's right. We have to take back our community collectively. We have to do it collaboratively, block by block. The South Side and West Side, aka Chirac. But if the police and the gangs see that we are organized and working collectively, they can't touch nothing in our community. They can't buy nothing, they can't steal nothing. But we have to come together because this is the kind of meeting they like. Once you get it all on together, everybody start leaving. You don't get nothing done. If you come in at 6 o'clock, you waste an hour or something else. My prayer to you is this: we are in the house of the Lord. It's by God's grace that video about the 16-year-old boy getting shot, the video in other states where they've been dogging out black young people, women. We got some serious problems. And all these different organizations, I think we come together in harmony and unity. But we just keep on leaving here independent as fools.
Now everybody who agrees with Mr. Coleman that we are here for unity, to talk to our women, talk with them, speak with them, ask them questions, respect them as they should respect you. If you believe, like Mr. Coleman does, and this man has paid the ultimate sacrifice with his son, then clap your hands and make some noise if that's what this night is about. For me. Hold on. And I'm saying that is from this point on, guys. If you want to grab the mic and try to get ignorant and rude, out of respect for Mr. Coleman, are we going to have that tonight? All right. So, Joe, I know everybody in here feels like you had your time. But I'm going to go back to you anyway because I respect you, brother. But you have got to ask the question. Are we all in sync on that? Ask the question, brother. Ask the question. I know that the sister, you hear that. That's not the moderator. The sister saying that's not there. Ask the question, Joe.
I love you all. I didn't come here to beat up on you all. I just came here to let you all know that there's another component that goes with the suffering and the murders going on in our community. So my question was, I was going to ask you all that since the feds are coming here to investigate down things going on, are you all going to get together and put together an investigation to investigate all the corruption and graft that's going on from the giant bird, from the construction industry, and from everything, from police, for everything that goes on to the housing, discrimination, particular program? Are you all going to put together an investigation to solve those problems?
Expanded comprehensive investigation. People don't have faith in the Department of Justice. I'm assuming some people think that this is just, the investigation is going to be just a dog and pony show and not going to get any real results. I'll let anybody grab the mic and respond to that.
Consent decree. Consent decree.
Wait, their mic's right there on the table, y'all. Yeah, just grab it. So basically Joe is saying he doesn't believe this investigation is going to amount to the hill of beans or be anything real.
I understand that there is concern about what's going to happen, what's not going to happen with the Department of Justice. It has not begun. It was only yesterday that Loretta Lynch announced that she was going to do open the investigation. What the caucus has been doing is we have partnered with the Invisible Institute, with Craig Futterman over at the University of Chicago, with Jamie Calvin. Well, you know, this...
Only on the mic. Harold. Love you too, brother.
So the thing is that this is not about the University of Chicago. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is about us moving forward, petitioning the Department of Justice and providing them with the information about police misconduct. It is about providing them with the information that they have been collecting over the years about how our kids have been dying in the streets. So So we have to let the investigation take its turn. What we can do and what we should be doing is making sure that it is thorough. So that's how I'm going to answer that question.
All right, let's go to my brother here. Brother?
I just wanted to add to what Alderman Harrison said, that the justice investigation is not just that they come in and look at papers and talk to just the administration and to the aldermen. They come out and they talk to the community members and other stakeholders in our community. So I would say if you're interested in being considered for an interview, just to give, at least for people in my ward, just to give me your name and address and number, and I will at least make sure that that information gets to the Justice Department. You can give it to Thomas Stovall in the back on my staff.
And brother, do you have a question that you're prepared? A recommendation? All right. All right, just making sure. Be honest, we're in the house of the Lord.
I have two recommendations. Alderman Field stated earlier this week when he talked about the reason that African Americans don't get in the police department. He was absolutely right. That the screening is where we'll stop. Psychological screening and the background screening. If you all get an investigation and ask the police department for the records of everybody who took the test, you will see it in black and white. So we also understand that our police department has always been fundamentally corrupt. They don't represent the community. They don't represent us. Okay, now that's the first one. The second thing is the Independent Police Review Authority is appointed by the mayor. Why can't you all in each one of your wards have the same type of body made up of citizens? Retired police, we have retired police who live in your ward, we have retired lawyers in your ward, we have retired investigators. We can patrol our own community with more transparency.
Is the Independent Police Review Authority really independent? Number one. I think, and his first point was about African Americans being unfairly screened when they interview to become police officers. So, the Independent Police Review Authority, is it independent?
No. Brian, you got it. I'll do it. I'm very vocal about it, but it's time for it for justice. Okay, they have not made one recommendation. Their job is to review police activity, to review the reports, review the shootings, and then make recommendations to the police department. They have failed at that level. Okay, we think last year, 2014, Ron Safer did a report. He did an analysis of the police department and made some recommendations. Have they taken those recommendations? No, they have not. So, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. What I don't want to see happen, and what I think the caucus is very clear about, is we don't want to see there's an issue, we create a blue ribbon panel, and then the panel makes recommendations, and then it goes away until the next incident happens. And then we appoint a blue ribbon panel, and they make recommendations which aren't taken, and then it goes away. So that is what I think that we have the control to do, and to make sure that this just doesn't happen to be a spinning wheel.
So it sounds like, Alderman, you guys don't have faith in the Independent Police Review Authority either.
No.
At least there anything y'all can do about it?
And I wanted to address this question about psychological screening and background screening. We have asked, in fact, the Black Caucus met with the HR director to talk about the background screening apparatus that the city uses, and we're in the process of trying to either have that eliminated or updated in some fashion, but we have had some conversations about that already.
And if I recall, when we were in there talking to her, we wanted to ask and see who was making up these questions. so that we can make sure we insert someone that can help, draft questions as well. Because you know how sometimes they ask a question, but it's in a way that only certain people can answer it. You understand what I'm saying? And so we want to be a part of that.
And you said this, man. Now, Lorenzo Davis, guys, who left quick IMRA, was trying to do his job correctly.
And to piggyback on what Alderman Moore stated, there's a gentleman that has filed a federal lawsuit.
Right, Lorenzo Davis.
No, not Lorenzo Davis. This was regarding applicants, African-American applicants to the police department, and it's regarding the psychological evaluation. Let me give you an example of a question that they asked this young lady who grew up in Inglewood, went on to get her degree and applied for the police department. They were asking her questions like this, what are your gang affiliations? What about you have children? What about your child's father? Does he have gang affiliations? These are the questions that they were asking her. Totally inappropriate questions. Totally, no, I'm just saying, this is a federal lawsuit that's been filed. The gentleman sent me, he saw that what we were doing regarding this, and he sent me a copy of this lawsuit and gave me an example of some questions that were asked of the applicants. And they were totally unfair, they were insulting, and they were just horrible questions. So we've been working with HR trying to work out a way that we can get these types of questions eliminated because that's unfair and it's discriminatory.
All right, Mark Carter.
Was those questions written?
Plantation politics, 40 years of my life, they obtained our parents to stand down and be quiet for these churches and for these politicians. But we ain't gonna be quiet. We're gonna raise hell with y'all until y'all go up against this mayor. Y'all pushing him to be indicted. We're gonna push for y'all to be indicted. We're gonna go down to the Board of Trade and demand that something be done about what's going on in this city.
Question. You got a question, Mark?
Man, look, y'all ain't gonna tame us.
Ain't nobody trying to tame you, brother. I'm trying to be fair to everybody in line, Mark.
No, y'all trying to tame us. Now, Sawyer, you the head of the Black Caucus. We want you in the morning to head up the demand for a vote of no confidence against the mayor. We're gonna ask him to say this is what you're going to do in the morning. Because for 13 months, all of y'all shut up and sit down and didn't say nothing about what was going on. This young boy, not only was he killed on 41st of Pulaski, he was taken from Lexington.
I can ask you right now, Mark.
Where he was killed. That's what y'all don't want to come out. He was taken from Western and Van Buren over to 41st of Pulaski where he was killed. Okay?
Give a statement. All right, we're in the house of the Lord, brother. I'm holding you to that statement.
Council, my name is Brother Raymond, Brother Stanley Young, and I want to know if you're going to stand at the collective poll to make sure all the video footage of all of our young African-American brothers are released. Put the pressure on them to make them release the footage. As you see here, I have young Antoine Johnson Jr., who was killed on the west side by the police in 2013, shot in the back, and then they drugged this young man, and then nobody said a word, and now we want the release of this footage and all the footage of our young black brothers.
Good question there. Is there any more videos, y'all? I guess, are there any more videos, and how do we get them released if there are? Anybody? Any more videos, because they're coming out like...
I'm Alderman Harrison. We obviously, I think most of us here want to do what they do in other states around the United States. They release the videos within 48 hours. That's what we're looking for. If you are asking me, am I aware of any other videos? I would have no way of knowing. So this is what I'm saying to you. We are asking for the city to adopt a policy of releasing all videos within 48 hours. Okay, so let me just answer you here. We are going to demand that, but it's more than just answering just one, because there are lots of others out there. So in addition to just doing your one, we as legislators, right, have to legislate for everybody else. But that's what.
So the question is, are there any more videos? And the bottom line is, we have no way to know. Is that it? All right.
What I am saying is that we are going to ask for the release of the videos, but moving forward, we have to have a policy in place which allows for that. And so it's not just one or the other, but it's something so that it becomes routine transparency.
All right, brother, your name and your question. Everybody come down, your name and your question. Let's respect the question.
Already a great Howard National Coalition of Black Reparations for America. For 400 years, the killing of black men has been a constant in this country. What type of representation do we have when a $5 million line item comes across your desk and it's attached to a young man being killed, being shot 16 times, and the only question you all ask is, would he get more money if we don't settle for this? Why was there no